Good morning, students. Welcome to the online lecture of Class 6 Science. Activity number 4. Collect sample of vinegar, lemon juice, mustard oil or coconut oil, kerosene or any other liquid which you can find in your home. Okay. So in activity number 5, we have to collect some sample of liquids like vinegar, lemon juice, mustard oil or coconut oil, kerosene or other liquids. Take a glass tumbler, fill it up to half with water, add a spoonful of one liquid to this and stir it well. Okay. Let it stand for 5 minutes. Observe whether the liquid mixes with the water. Repeat with the same with the other liquids. So many different liquids are available to you. Write your observation in table number 4.4. So the activity number 5 is very simple. Just you have to take different type of liquids, lemon juice, coconut oil, kerosene, petrol, anything you find at your home, and then just add 1 tablespoon or 1 spoonful of that liquid into a half filled glass of water and stir it well and wait for the 5 minutes. Okay, so now what you have to do, note down the observation which you observe. For example, if you pour, see in this is the your water glass with a half water, and this is what when you add liquid in that. Okay, so when you add vinegar, when you add liquid vinegar into the water, it will mix it well or it will does not mix. There are only two options, either it will mix it well or it will does not. Okay, so this is your activity which you have to do. The answer will be given in the PDF file. Okay, so try this: lemon juice, mustard oil, coconut oil and kerosene. Try to add this in the liquid and see whether it is mixing well or not. Okay, we notice that after you will complete this activity, you will notice that some liquids get completely mixed with water, some other do not mix with the water and form a separate layer when kept aside for some time. Okay, some liquid will mix it well and some will form structure like this. They will form a apart layer. Okay, some gases are soluble in water, whereas others are not. Water usually has a small quantity of some gases dissolved in it. For example, oxygen gas dissolved in water is very important for the survival of animals and plants that live in water. Okay, we know that we need oxygen for sustaining our life. Similarly, the body which are living in the water, okay, the whales, the fish, they need oxygen. They also need oxygen. From where they get the oxygen? Not from the air, but the oxygen present in the water. So oxygen gas dissolved in water is very much important for the survival of animals and plant that lives in water. Okay, objects may float or sink in water. While doing activity number 4, you might have noticed that insoluble solid separate out from the water. Okay, you have seen chalk powder or anything like that will be insoluble in the water. You may have also noticed this with some liquid in activity number 5. Yes, in the activity number 5, coconut oil will form a different layer. Okay, so we can say that coconut oil floats over the water. Some of these materials that did not mix with the water floated to the surface of water. Others may have sunk to the bottom of the tumbler, right? If we kept chalk powder in the water for a while, then the particle will settle down on the bottom of the tumbler. Okay, we notice many examples of objects that float in the water or sink. Dried leaves fallen on the surface of a pond, a stone that you throw into this pond. Yes, you have done all this activity in your childhood. Okay, Either you are going to do this, okay, few drops of honey that you let fallen into the glass of water. What happens to all of this? Okay, see here you can see some of the material will float on the water and some will submerge. If we throw a coin or a key or a stone, they will settle down in the water, and the light material like wood, leaves will float on the water. Bojo would like to give him 5 examples each of the object that float and those that sink in the water. What about testing the same material to see if they float or sink in other liquid like oil also? Okay, so you can do this activity at your home. Take different materials and try to see which are sinking and which are floating. And you can also use different types of liquid like oil. Okay, it's not compulsory. The next topic is transparency. Transparency. You might have played the game of hide and seek. Okay, we all have played. We are playing still now the game hide and seek. Think of some places where would you like to hide so that you are not seen by others. Why did you choose those places? Would you have to try to hide behind a glass window? Obviously, you will not hide behind a glass window because on the other side, that person can see you from the glass window. Obviously, not, as your friends can see through that and spot you. Can you see through all the materials? Okay, let's see. You can see through all the materials. We can see throughout the glass. We can see throughout the plastic, but we can't see throughout the iron surface. Okay, the wooden door we can't see. Okay, those substances or materials through which things can be seen are called transparent. Okay, 4.7. See, this is transparent, this is not transparent. Okay, moving further, glass, water, air, and some plastics are example of transparent material. Shopkeepers usually prefer to keep biscuits, sweets, and other eatables in transparent containers of the glass or plastic so that buyer can easily see this item. Okay, you can see in this photo every food item is kept in the transparent material so that the customer or the consumer or the buyer can see the material or the food properly. On the other end, there are some material through which you cannot able to see. These materials are called opaque. Okay, the material through which you cannot see, you cannot able to see, are called opaque. You cannot tell what is kept in a closed wooden box, a cardboard cartoon, or a metal container. Wood, cardboard, and metals are example of opaque materials. Do we find that we can group all the materials and objects without any confusion as they're either opaque or transparent? It's very simple. You can classify all the materials in opaque or transparent. For example, the window of our house can be considered as a transparent material, but the wooden door can be considered as an opaque material. So you can classify all the material. Activity number 6. Take a sheet of paper and look through it towards a lighted bulb. You have to take one sheet of paper, point it out towards the lighted bulb and see and try to see the bulb from your side. Make a note of your observation. Now put 2 to 3 drops of some oil and spread it on the sheet of the paper. Look again towards the lighted bulb through that portion of the paper on which the oil has been spread. Do you find that the bulb is more clearly visible than before? Yes, we will see that before applying the oil, the bulb was not seen clearly, but after applying the oil patch, You can partially see the bulb, not properly, not clearly, but we can see that the bulb is there. Is everything on the other side of it visible? No, partially it is visible. Perhaps not. The material through which the object can be seen, but not clearly, are known as translucent material. Remember that oily patch on the paper when we tested food items for the presence of fats. Yes, we have seen that we have to put some food containing fats on the paper and then cover it. Then we will see that paper will absorb the water or the fats. That was translucent too. Okay, the material through which object can be seen but not clearly are known as translucent material. Can you think of some more example of translucent material? Okay, let's see. We can therefore group materials as opaque, transparent and translucent. Okay, opaque means we cannot see. Okay, we cannot see throughout it. The transparent means we can see both from both this side, and translucent we can see the object partially. Paheli suggested covering the glass of the torch with your palm at a dark place. Switch on the torch and observe the other side of palm. She wants to know whether the palm of your hand is opaque, transparent or translucent. Okay, so I suggest this is your activity which you can do at your home, and observe that your hand is translucent, transparent or opaque. We learned that materials differ in their appearance and the way they mix in the water or other liquids. They may float or sink in the water, or may be transparent, opaque, translucent. Material can be grouped on the basis of similarities or difference in their property. Why do we need to group this material? What was the reason to learn this whole chapter? Why we are studying to group all the materials? In everyday life, we often group materials for our convenience. At home, we usually store things in such a manner that similar objects are placed together. Such an arrangement helps us to locate them easily. Okay, we have seen the food related items, the items needed to cook food are kept in the kitchen, not everywhere in the house. Not some materials are kept in bedroom, living room and some are kitchen. No, the all materials, the all items which come under the category of food, the category of material which are needed to make food are kept in the kitchen. Okay, such an arrangement from here, such an arrangement help us to locate them easily. Similarly, a grocer usually keeps all types of biscuit at one corner of his shop, all soaps at another, while grains and pulses are stored at some other places. There is another reason why we find such grouping useful. Dividing material into groups make it convenient to study their properties and also observe any patterns in these properties. We will study more about this in the higher class. So here we are ending our chapter. Okay, from next lecture we are going to start the new chapter, and right now I am sharing the PDF file of this chapter which you have to write in your notebook. Thank you.